It is from Ida. Ida says, hello Agnes and all the YouTube family. I have a success story with my specific person. My story is a bit long, so let me start from the beginning. I am 23 years old and I am from Kenya. My specific person is 30 years old and is still from my country. We have been dating for 3 years now. He is such an amazing man, kind and romantic. When we met, I was still in campus in my second year and he was already working. From the day we started dating, he made it clear, even to his friends and family, that I was his woman. He gave me keys to his place after like the second time of visiting him. He never even pursued me to sleep with him. It just happened, and I didn't feel pressured. It was actually very beautiful. When in school, he took care of me, sometimes helped me study and read for exams. He had never cheated on me, despite the fact that I'm sort of younger than the ladies he works with, who are even financially stable, which is not my case. So we moved in together after I was done with campus. My specific person is a very sociable person and has tons of friends, especially guys. So after moving in, money was somehow tight since I lost the only small job I had gotten. So for him, it would be to go out on Saturday nights and weekends and drink a lot with his friends. This behavior hurt me to the core. I would cry myself to sleep at night. I was so lonely and needy and would call him a million times. This in turn annoyed him. But once he came back home, we would talk about it and he would say he will change. I didn't believe that he would, and come from the following weekend it would happen again. I started hating his friends and telling him outright that I hate some of your friends. This is something I now understand that I should have never said, but anyway, we are in this life to learn. Now, because of my fear, he would do it again. He was also struggling financially as he had major troubles at his workplace. But he couldn't control the drinking. He was drinking alcohol daily. Then one day he came home late around 2 p.m. and snapped and lost it, and we fought. Actually, he didn't touch me, but I beat him. Yep, he is so strong he could have just held me and beat me up, but he didn't. Instead, he sat there telling me to stop, and I didn't. That event scared him, and he said that I had shown him anger and he wasn't ready to live with me again. At that very moment, I knew I had lost his heart and feeling. The days that followed, he stopped talking to me, completely ignored me, came home when he wanted, and even stopped providing. This event affected me so much, I became suicidal. I added weight. I knew we loved each other deeply, but I had effed it up big time. So in late July, I moved out and we broke up. I sought help from a psychologist because I had the worst heartache you could imagine. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I had stomach upsets just thinking about him. I felt my stomach making knots and I felt like I could vomit. Then one day I stumbled upon Agnes's videos and I binged watched them, especially the Everyone As You Pushed Out series. The message resonated with me deeply. I knew I had created this mess and I didn't know how to fix it. Then one day while walking in town, I met a friend of my specific person. He told me that my SP was so broken. He was not okay. He was drinking. He was living as if he didn't have a purpose. I felt so bad. I started crying. I had hurt such a beautiful man. I thought leaving him would make things easier and better, but it didn't. So every night from that day, I would do Ho'oponopono prayers and meditation for self-love. I did that and prayed every night. I prayed for God to take care of us, despite the fact that we were not okay and we were far away from each other. During the day, I read so many books. I read all of Neville's books and a few other authors. Then, when I felt like I had forgiven myself, him and his friends too, I would radiate love and forgiveness to his friends too. After a few weeks now, I started meditation to radiate love to my darling. I started sending him love and care while I was walking. I would call his name and say, I love you deeply. I'm so sorry, darling. I said, baby, we will be okay. I was living in the end. I did all this without contacting him. I felt like I wanted to talk to him. If I felt I wanted to talk to him, I would send a pretend text on another cell phone number and even reply as if it was him. I would tell him stuff and I would reply to myself like he is the one who is doing it. At night I would sleep as if he was with me. I would imagine us laughing, telling jokes, cuddling, imagining anything I wanted. I would hold his hand, I would touch him anywhere, kiss him and tell him he is a handsome man and he is mine and I'm so sorry I hurt him. Sometimes I'd put on music, light up candles, because we used to be like that, then stay in bed as if I was with him. So around September, I called him one day. He was so happy to talk to me. I could feel the chemistry. I felt it, and yet it was only via a phone call. Then, from there, we would text randomly, but he was reserved. He was very cautious. I expected that. But I didn't nag. I gave him time. At this time, I worked on myself. I changed my diet. I went to the gym. So far, I've actually lost 8 kilos. I continued with meditation. I did the 5 by 5, 55 by 5 manifestation. I did the drinking water manifestation for 5 days. I then said St. Jude novena for 9 days. On the final day, as I was in the chapel, I took out my phone and I showed Jesus a picture of my man. I just told him to help me fix it. I promised to testify about him and St. Jude if they made it happen for us to meet and be okay. So last weekend, he made plans for us to meet on Sunday. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy finally it was happening. My prayers, my manifestation, it was coming through. I just knelt down. I cried. I thanked Jesus. I was happy with my mind, my beautiful imagination and hard work would soon pay up. That Sunday of November when I went to see him, he stood up and hugged me. When our bodies met, he didn't want to let me go. I sort of felt our hearts beating. He kept looking at my face, staring at my eyes and hugging me tightly. It was so beautiful. I started crying. He had some balancing tears. What a lovely sentence. I've never heard it worded that way. He had some balancing tears. That's gorgeous. And then he kissed me. It was exactly as I had imagined it. Did I mention that it was in a public place, so people were really starting to stare, but he held me, that he didn't care. He said that he was so sorry. I was shocked because I knew I had created most of the issues and the hurt and the pain. We had drinks, laughed. He kept holding my hand. He said he needed me in his life again. He would be better. I know he will because I am wise 23-year-old lady now. I know I can shape and create my own reality, and I will do exactly that. I know how to be emotionally mature, and I know he loves me. P.S. I want to tell you, imagination works. Yesterday he called me and said he wants to tell me something. He told me that at times at night, during our breakup, he would feel intense love for me. He would feel like I'm touching him and just be next to him. He would try to push the feelings away, but he couldn't. And for the 3 months, he never ever went on a date with another lady or felt anything else. I was speechless. I didn't tell him that I would meditate and think of him and send him love and care. I think it would freak him out. So this is for me to know. So this is my story, ladies. Thank you, Agnes. Thank you so much for the information. Were it not for you, I would not have learnt to let go, to live in the end, to meditate, and even about the law of attraction. I wish you all success. I hope that you become successful too. Keep us in your prayers. Though, especially financially, we're struggling there, but I soon will write another success story. We will be financially stable. We will. It's all in our beautiful imagination. Whew! Beautiful. That's a ripper. Love a good story. That was beautifully written. I love the balancing tears. I just think that's such a gorgeous sentence. Love it, love it, love it. Now, I'm going to put down below the viewers how to get a specific expect playlist for those of you that are still new to the channel, working your way through. I will also put the self-love meditations down below because that is really important in creating this and anything else that was mentioned in this. YouTube by this lovely lady, Ada. And thank you so much, Ada, for sending that in. That's a gorgeous story. You're awesome and well done to you. 23 years old. To find this stuff early, I was about 28, 29 when I first came across law of attraction. So it's so wonderful when you have your whole life ahead of you to apply it. But in saying that, whenever you come to the law of attraction, to Neville's teachings, to self-love, it is on the right day for you. And you will then benefit from that day forward. And so will your loved ones. And so will you on a big scale. So lots of love, everybody. And I will see you